8 in 10 women say they were never educated about perimenopause. My blood work panel is telling me a different story and my endocrine system is not working. Hello and welcome back to week 2 of the Stronger with Scarlett podcast, available here on YouTube, Apple and Spotify. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, like this, share it with a friend or anybody else who needs to learn about women's health and wellness. And let's face it, that's everybody. This week I want to talk to you about why I teach through art. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, then how much is your health worth if you can't picture it? My art exhibition, The Whole Woman Unveiled, is about making the invisible visible. We are visual learners by nature, and our brains process images 60,000 times faster than text. But when it comes to women's health, much of what we live through and feel is invisible. You can't see a hormonal imbalance or an energy crash or burnout on a blood test, but you can feel it every single day. Point 1, why I teach differently. Most of you might know me. I began as a primary school teacher, spent 10 years in the classroom, and I was designing the maths curriculum, making the maths concepts visual. I saw firsthand when children thrive when they can see mathematical concepts visually through bar models, diagrams, color-coded maps, etc. Yet as adults, especially women navigating our health, we're handed black and white printouts full of doctor's jargon and information that we just can't understand. And for some reason, we stop learning visually. Interesting fact, only 12% of adults can interpret their standard lab results accurately, and women are diagnosed 7 years later than men when it comes to endocrine and autoimmune conditions. Why? Because they can't see what's happening inside of us, and neither can the professionals who aren't trained to translate it clearly. Doctors are trained to be doctors, not teachers, and we need to understand this information so that we can understand our bodies. That frustration, the doctor jargon that nobody explained, pushed me to blend my teacher brain with my creative one. I started painting, and what I used to teach, connection, curiosity, and cause and effect. Point 2, the strong woman who picked up a paintbrush. Competing as a strong woman taught me physiology in 4D, strength, hormones, sleep, recovery, mindset. But when I entered perimenopause early, suddenly my own body became a mystery. My blood work told me one story, and my lived experience told me something else. An interesting real life story is actually last time I went to visit my mum, and we were talking about her blood work, which she went to the doctors to go and get. Hope mum doesn't mind me telling this story. She told me that she had a full blood work panel done at the doctor's, and I asked her what the results were, and she said, yeah, the doctor said your blood work's all fine. And so my mum hadn't even analysed or looked at her lab results at all. She just took the doctor's words that everything was fine and left it at that. She didn't understand what markers were tested in her full blood work panel and what markers were not tested in her full blood work panel. So I realised if I can deadlift 3 times, 4 times my body weight, but my blood work panel is telling me a different story and my endocrine system is not working, something had to change. So I decided to start turning data into design, and I used colours and textures to show thyroids, cortisols, layering, estrogen effects, and everything else through my art, because my mission now is to teach you all what I have learned about the female body through my art, using my teacher brain. That became the foundation of my exhibition, The Whole Woman Unveiled. It's art built from lived data and scientific truth. Every brushstroke bridges the gap between science and storytelling, whether that's my story, my mum's story, or your story. Interesting facts. 1 in 10 women live with PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome, like myself, and probably most of them have no idea what this means for their future or what happened in their past to cause this to happen to them, like myself. 8 in 10 women say they were never educated about perimenopause, and yet 100% of women will go through perimenopause. Women athletes, female athletes, are 6 times more likely to suffer an ACL injury when their estrogen levels are low during their menstrual cycle. These numbers aren't just stats. They're stories, and they're waiting to be made visible. Seeing is understanding, and I'm here to connect the dots together. When I was a teacher and I was focused on high performance learning skills and building learning power, it wasn't so much about the content of what you were teaching in your lesson, but it was about the skills that you were giving the children to be lifelong learners. Connecting the dots and connecting information is one of my most favourite skills that I taught through HPL and BLP. So This exhibition isn't just for women, as you may think. This is for everybody. Teachers, leaders, doctors, CEOs, boardrooms, classrooms, men, families. A doctor might see hormones and a teacher might see patterns. CEOs might see systems. But when we show health visually, we make it relatable across any and every discipline. And this art exhibition is for everyone. In a world of reports, metrics, data, dashboards, visual translation might be the missing language of our well-being. Because when people can see their stress responses, their recovery and their hormones, they start asking better questions about their own health. And that's where real change begins. Let's face it, my art is not going to heal you, but it is going to bring more awareness to you. And awareness is the first step towards agency in your own journey. I built this work because I needed to understand me. And if you've ever felt lost in the translation between the doctors and your body, when it comes to your own health, maybe this is the story that you've been missing. Please get in contact with me via my DMs, my website, scarlettharvey.com. If you would like to bring this art exhibition to your school, your clinic, your office, or anywhere else, your event, and we can get in touch. Let's make the invisible visible together. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe to my channel. You can share this with a friend. Take care. See you in the next one.